Chapter 8.
Well, it's the three of us now.
Tobias said, glancing at Dusan.
We can help each other. We need to figure out how to get out of here.
Warren nods in agreement.
He's right. We can't just sit around.
Dusan looked at them both, his expression serious.
Before you start planning any escapes, how about we sit down and I tell you the whole story of the Order? You need to understand exactly what you're trying to fight.
Exchanges a glance with Tobias, then looks back at Dusan.
All right, he said, gesturing to the empty space. Let's hear it.
They all sat down, forming a small circle on the cold metallic floor. Dusan leaned back slightly, his face shadowed with the weight of the story he was about to share, his voice steady but laced with tension.
Okay, let me start at the beginning.
Dusan's gaze hardened as he began to speak, his tone shifting to something deeper, more dangerous.
To understand what you're up against, you need to know where it all began. The roots of the Order of Genesis stretch deep into history, all the way back to ancient Egypt.
Tobias raises an eyebrow, intrigued but quiet.
The first known member was Ramses II, the great builder, Dusan said, his voice darkening slightly. He wasn't just a king. He was a genius, but that genius wasn't entirely his own. Legends say that beings from the heavens, gods, or perhaps something more, descended to offer him knowledge beyond anything we could comprehend.
Warren shifts in his seat, looking uneasy.
Those watchers, these beings, gave Ramses the secrets of precise construction, proportional systems, and something even stranger, a connection between souls and technology. With their guidance, Ramses built monuments that defied human understanding. Some even say these structures were crafted by divine hands.
Tobias leans forward, hanging on every word.
So, the Order started with Ramses.
Nods slowly, his expression grim.
Exactly. Ramses laid the foundation for what would become the Order of Genesis. They weren't just after knowledge, they were after control. Control of humanity, technology, and the very fabric of existence itself.
Warren's eyes widen.
But it didn't stop in Egypt, did it?
Dusan shakes his head, his eyes narrowing.
No, the Order's influence spread across centuries. It reached Rome, where the king who ordered the crucifixion of Jesus became the second member. Why? Because Jesus' message of unity and enlightenment posed a threat to their power. They couldn't allow his truth to spread.
Tobias looking at Dusan, disbelief clear in his eyes.
So they killed him to silence him.
Dusan shrugs slightly, lips curling into a grim smile.
Not just him. The Order has been pulling the strings for centuries. They manipulated history, shaping key events to preserve their secrets and their control.
Warren still processing the information.
And the Order's influence only grew, right? I mean, they've been behind so many major events.
Dusan nods slowly.
Yes, a Greek philosopher, a Templar knight, even a Renaissance inventor, all played their parts. They integrated their ideologies into the very fabric of history. But by the time John Wilkes Booth assassinated Abraham Lincoln, the Order's agenda was clearer. Lincoln posed a threat because he was on the verge of exposing them.
Tobias blinking in surprise.
Booth wasn't just a political assassin.
Dusan shakes his head firmly.
No. Booth was the Order's way of silencing the truth. Lincoln's death wasn't about politics. It was about protecting the Order.
Warren leans forward, trying to make sense of it all.
But that doesn't explain everything. They've been behind everything. Wars, pandemics, even 9/11.
Dusan's gaze darkens further as he leans in slightly, voice dropping to a whisper.
Yes, The Order has been behind much of the chaos throughout history. The Spanish flu, engineered by them to eliminate those on the brink of technological and spiritual enlightenment. World War II, Hitler was a pawn, manipulated into chasing their agenda under the guise of his own ambitions.
Tobias' mouth falls open in shock.
And 9/11, you're saying that was part of their plan too?
Dusan, his voice is cold and precise.
Yes, the attacks served two purposes. First, they buried evidence of the Order's existence. Second, they distracted the world, keeping the truth hidden. The Order doesn't just control governments, they control history itself.
Tobias shaking his head in disbelief.
But why? What do they want? What's their end game?
Dusan's voice darkens with purpose as he leans back, eyes cold.
Their end game is a new Genesis, a world reshaped in their image. They want to combine spirituality with technology, create something entirely new, something that transcends humanity as we know it.
Warren sits back, trying to process everything.
And they've been working toward that for centuries, using manipulation, destruction, and control to get closer to it.
Dusan nods slowly, his expression grim.
Yes. And now, they're closer than ever. They're not going to stop until they've reshaped humanity in their own image.
The weight of Dusan's words settled into the silence between them. Tobias and Warren sat there, stunned, as they took in the magnitude of what the Order had done and what they were still doing. Dusan leans back slightly, eyes scanning both men.
I know it's a lot to take in, but now you understand. The Order isn't just some power-hungry group. There's something much older, much darker, and they won't stop until they get what they want.